Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to Supergirl. This time on season 5, episode 14, titled The Bodyguard. Last time we had episode 13, which was It's a Super Life. We had It's a Super Life, and we had Mixus Pidlick returning with Thomas Lennon this time, not with the original actor. But then we found out that Thomas Lennon playing him was actually his true form, and the other guy was actually just his way of kind of appearing handsome and charming to Kara to try and manipulate her into love. So. That was that fix. But yeah, he returned, and he was on a mission to right all of his wrongs. All the times he'd kind of somewhat abused his magic and his powers and tried to get people to do things he wanted. He was trying to right those wrongs. And I think he said his last mission was actually Kara. His last mission was, or at least one of his last missions was Kara. So he returned with a way to try and help her fix her friendship with Lena by going back in time to different events, different points in time where she could have chosen to actually reveal herself and tell Lena that she was Supergirl. And we saw all of them fail. We saw all of them having failed. I think we went back to where back to I think season 4, back to season 5, where back to season 4 when the sky was filled up with kryptonite because of Agent Liberty's machine. And she told Lena just before that, but then Lena went to Metropolis to meet Sam and told her about it, but then, once everything went down, she couldn't get back in time and Kara ended up dying. So that was one. There was another one where she actually did tell her straight at the very beginning where they first met, well, I think just after they first met, and she handed over the USB drive and stuff on Lex, I think it was, and then she told her then, and then that ended up being better, but then Lena refused to give Kara's real name to the general public, and then that went wrong, and then Ben Lockwood's family committed a suicide to try and believing that Supergirl would save them, which she didn't, and then they ended up dying. So he was on a vendetta, and then he killed them, and then Kara revealed herself, and then the Children of Liberty ended up murdering everyone she loved. So that went wrong. Anytime she tried to tell Lena, either other people would try and get in the way of that, or Lena just wouldn't end up trusting her. And then there was one future that was really dark, and she used fifth dimension energy to power her Hope robots, and she killed Lex after Lex tried to assassinate her. And then stuff went wrong there, and she recruited Rain and Evil Brainy to her side. And it was just a nightmare overall. So yeah, I think the one thing we learned from that was that Lex is the problem. Lex is the problem to all of this. I mean, I think the problem was still that Kara, there was no good way to tell her, or at least there was no way to tell her that would end up being good in the long term, because something would still always go wrong. But then Lex kind of amplified that by about 10,000 when he told her in the most evil, most manipulative way possible. So my theory was that just getting rid of Lex would solve all of that. So I mean, Lena did that herself, and it still went wrong. So yeah, but I mean, in her defense, he did try and assassinate her. So yeah, but after that, I mean, Kara eventually discovered that it doesn't matter what what goes wrong. What goes wrong is Lena's kind of distrust of people because of the years of abuse she's faced at the hands of the Luthers. So it doesn't matter when or how Kara tells her, something always goes wrong anyway. So yeah, it seems like there's no easy fix to this, but I mean, I think the way they started this off, I don't really think anyone ever got that impression that it would just be a one-time apology and it would go away. I think that this kind of thing would generally take work to try and fix, but then it seems like that one episode is kind of like the writer's way of showing oh yeah, there's no easy fix to this, so stop trying to ask us to fix it quickly. It's going to take some time. But then in the end, she went back to visit Lena and said that I'm done apologizing for something like that, and if you're going to do all this stuff with Lex, and if you're going to go forward with Non Nocere, then that's your own choice, and you're going to be held accountable for those choices, and I'm going to stop you just like any other villain. So yeah, things are going great. But yeah, I think that is just the main issue. Like Lex's manipulation, he's back. I think he has a much larger agenda at play now. Now that he knows that the multiverse at least was a thing, and now that he can control a lot more than just one hero, he can actually try and control all of them, and maybe start up his own Legion of Doom or whatever. Whether that actually happens or not, I think that's going to be, in talks for like a future crossover, like the Justice League versus the Legion of Doom. But regardless, Lex is the main issue here, so he's the one we have to get to, as well as Leviathan. But he is, I think he's in the process of double-crossing Leviathan to get his own plans into work. So, yeah, but that is pretty much all I have from the last one. So episode 14, The Bodyguard. Let's go.
Today, your life ends.
Is that an alien dragon or no? I don't know. And you just started a wildfire. Great. And simulate. Wait. This is VR. That's a video game.
I mean, not the upgraded 150 petaflop BioLink interface.
She has never said words like that.
Oh, you are paying attention to my late night rambling.
Aww.
More importantly, what's in the box?
Is it food? Is it food? Is it food? It's food.
And your favorite dumplings from Wayfoo's.
Dumplings? Oh, no, hey, this is comfort.
Oh, yeah.
I might share.
Yeah, Kara's a lover of dumplings.
How did you know that?
I am an investigative journalist, but don't we all know our friends' orders by heart?
This was very
I don't, but then again, I don't even know if my friends drink coffee. So.
See you guys later.
What is this? Is this Kilgore? Is that Kilgore from The Flash? Is he crossing over?
Okay.
Oh, a puppy! Oh, damn.
Turns the most ferocious animal instincts into do no harm. So
They
far,
risked that
all
on a
animals
puppy's
have
life?
Perfect results.
Lena, how could you?
Before Crisis, when I tried using Myriad, she assumed that I was trying to mind control people.
Aren't
Her
you?
friends think I'm going down a dark path.
Isn't that what Non Nocere is?
Turned into me,
Like, it's technically mind control.
but you haven't.
But maybe after your trials,
He was the journalist that
I won't
Kara
have
spoke
to
to, wasn't he? Yeah.
I've heard
Selfie?
Selfie? Selfie with Supergirl.
Hashtag Superguard.
Superguard.
Pleasure to meet you, Supergirl. When you
Yeah.
we crossed paths this morning.
Will he meet Supergirl?
It's very nice to meet you, formally.
And for better or worse, this launch is the biggest thing since the invention of the computer.
So he's dedicated to his job and knowledgeable. That's a good sign.
Yeah, somebody with tech issues or possibly an anger management problem.
In fact, the only farm off Route 89 has been liquidated with no proof of asset dispersion.
Okay, thanks.
Is he lying? I didn't see the screen. I was writing. Did he lie?
Look, I still want to track down that farm.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, he lied, didn't he? Yeah, he lied. Todd Sapphire. Whoa. Oh, one of the brainies.
There's a 93.2% probability that none will invite me to Thanksgiving. After I do what must be done. As well, that is quite the conundrum, Quarrel.
Yeah. Double crossing your friends like that can lead to some hurtful
Like this,
separations.
there's only one thing you can do. That is a nice haircut. Shut up.
That's interesting, though, having therapy with his own alternate universe versions.
Yo, Steve, come here.
Is he gonna, like, hug him, or tell me he just hugs him?
Do you want to grab some grub?
Or just invite him to lunch?
Sure, Toby. That would be lovely.
Huh. It
You're a genius.
works. I never doubted Lena, but it works. It works.
You know, when the first generation lenses dropped, I was buzzing. I thought about being able to hang with my buddy, who I lost a few years ago.
Russell.
But it wasn't until I hung out with my friend, or co-worker, Kara, that I remembered what being really connected.
Does he not recognize? Oh shit! Oh, Purbo! Chlorophyllian's back. Chlorophyllian's back.
Andrea Rojas.
Nope. Well, that was quite a shitty attempt. What kind of a kill attempt was that? Just one blast of energy and then you fly away?
Mr. Rojas?
I'm not okay.
Oh. It stops him from actually trying to physically harm someone.
It caused a grand mal seizure.
Seizure.
Do you remember what happened?
I wanted to be the bully.
Yeah, rage.
Fear is the only emotion I've known.
Pent up rage, pent up anger. He's wanted to be able to fight back for so long, and now
all I feel is.
Yeah.
What about me? Why didn't you fix me?
I will fix it, okay? I promise. I promise.
Non Nocere can't take away that kind of pain.
Looks like he has a pretty toy all of his own. These are weapons-grade components.
Yeah, it's how he fires off those lasers.
This is what he must have been trying to buy on the black market.
Yeah.
Some kind of gauntlet.
Oh, super speed, nice. Oh, come on, John. Come on, John. Come on. Oh, is he overpowering John? That's not a good look. Oh, damn. Oh, he's burning down all the evidence.
But ever since we left our homeworld, I have felt lost. And the only relief I've found is in VR. I'm so homesick. I can't think of anything
So
else.
that's why he stole the lenses. You want to think of home again.
So if he's dead, then he couldn't have attacked Andrea.
What if it's Amy?
Was
What if it's
it
Amy?
his wife?
She blames Obsidian for his death.
Oh.
Manifesto warned against making VR a new paradise.
Amy's trying to stop the launch to save people from her husband's fate.
The launch is in 27 minutes.
Oh crap! Oh crap! Okay, no.
Where is Andrea Rojas?
She's not here.
No, dude, you're out of your depth.
Stopping the launch.
You are. Oh, okay. Supergirl saves his life. Okay, Supergirl saves his life.
Not if I have anything to say about it.
I can't let you stop me.
Seeing her heat vision. Oh, her strength. Oh, her strength. Oh, damn it. Whoa! Dreamer's back in the game. Nice. Yeah, got those shields too. Yeah.
I don't intend to destroy it. I just need it to stop.
Okay, well, don't kill innocent people. Oh, great. Yeah. Saved by the wifey. Yeah, the Martian man's come out to play. Or not. Just temporarily phasing. Yeah. There we go. Whoa! Was that her shadow teleportation? Does she have the medallion? Does she have the medallion on her, or what was that? Was that just her shadow helping her?
Our employees use our VR to cope with the trauma they just experienced.
Yeah, you should at least address the stories like Todd's.
Supergirl, I'm here to help people. Remember that.
Yeah, so help the people like Todd who have also lost something. Don't just bypass it as the, you know, the minority effect. Oh yeah, now she's suiting up. Yeah, the suit up, or not, or just a spread of shadows.
Alex, we're hand of the soldier.
Oh, so it's a gauntlet.
Any weapon. You just have to picture it in your mind's eye.
Oh, that's cool. That is super cool. A gun, a knife, knuckle braces. Oh, so it's like a gauntlet and it can just transform into anything.
Another badge. With a little practice, you'll learn to control it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So it could be non-lethal and lethal, depending on the situation too.
Those feelings, it's as if
She's erased his pain?
I never had them.
She's erased that pain? Is that
How did you do that?
healthy?
My brother. It was just a matter of tweaking the algorithm to...
Is that healthy though, just removing it just like that?
It worked.
It's really a gun, though. Or, I mean, whatever weapon I want it to be. Jean just has to train me how to use it.
So you can turn it into a long sword as well. Ooh, that would be awesome.
He says you need him. You're a great guy. More than a great guy. And I would love to go out.
I would love that.
Okay. Alright. Okay.
There's my favorite clue.
We gonna see how it goes. We gonna see how it goes.
Code looks like a real killer. So a few houses could have burned down. Small price for progress.
People could have died.
A small price to pay for salvation, huh? Huh, Lex? Huh?
Have you forgotten?
Still willing to sacrifice people just to achieve your own goals.
Me, the most trusted and beloved man on Earth.
This Earth, on this Earth, very big difference.
I'm on its worldwide rollout, then Lex Luthor. I'm the chocolate to your peanut butter.
Ugh. Don't you transform this into Nutella.
There won't be an eyeball.
Do you expect something in return?
Power.
It would be lovely to meet your friends.
Make good on your word, and we can discuss.
Getting closer and closer to Leviathan. Closer and closer. That is the end of the episode. Great. So now I feel like Brainy's actually starting to feel like, there are very big downsides and honestly foreseeable disadvantages to working with Lex. Anyone who knew Lex from before would not trust the man he is, or the man he claims to be today at all. But yeah, like him willing to sacrifice people, being just so casually throwing out that line as well, like, okay, so a few houses are gonna burn down, not being like, okay, I admit a few houses. There's just literally just being so casual about it, as if he, he knew it would happen. And he was willing to let it happen anyway, and that alone makes Brainy reconsider the fact that okay, maybe this man isn't as trustworthy as he started off to be. Like, not really a surprise to anyone, and it shouldn't be a surprise to Brainy, but he's too busy focusing on the logic of the alternate universe Brainies to be able to think properly about this and think about what the people in his life have actually told him. So yeah, and I mean, it's like it's a very clear, like a very cut and clear kind of parallel between that and also his advice to Lena, being like, oh, in my previous life I let my obsession with Superman destroy me, and you shouldn't make that same mistake, and you shouldn't, now I can actually do something for the good of all the people, and him giving that same advice to Lena, being like, oh, you shouldn't focus on what Supergirl thinks of you and all that sort of stuff, and then you start. I'd say it's kind of a conflict between could it actually be possible change, or does he just have a bigger scale ego? But then his work with Leviathan proves it's just bigger scale ego. Now he knows what's really out there. Like the multiverse has merged into one. It's all one bigger thing now. So that's even more people for him to double cross and betray and kill and come out on top of. And before it was just Superman and then Supergirl, but now it's everyone else, and now Leviathan is out there. He can take them down, be the bigger fish in the game. It's all, at the end of the day, it's all just just small steps and a few double crosses here and there, all the way on the way to an even bigger agenda. So yeah, just a bigger scale ego, pretty much, just a bigger scale ego. But yeah, that's that. Lena, she went forward with the human trials. At the prison. And I think that was an interesting choice of candidates too. People, like wanting to rehabilitate, and others who were, not as bad as those. Steve, not as bad as Toby, but just still stuck under the same roof as him and stuff. And the human trials worked for the most part, except for those like Steve who had harbored pain from all those years of being tossed down to the bottom and abused and bullied and all that kind of stuff. So. Yeah, so then, so then he was one of those people who wanted to fight back. He was asked if he was okay, and truth be told, he wasn't okay. He wanted to fight back. He wanted others to he wanted his abusers to feel the same pain he did, but he couldn't fight back because of Non Nocere, and then that kind of set his brain into shutdown or whatever. So I think that was that was like a logical kind of. Like a logical kind of like sidestep or like a backstep from Non Nocere, from those lenses. It takes away the ability to commit harm, but it doesn't take away that desire. You can't harm another human being, and it kind of overrides it with compassion over rage and positivity over negativity and all that stuff. But then from the people who have suffered under that negativity for so long, they can't take away that pain. Those memories affect a different part of the brain, so those ones are like a conflict with those feelings. But then her cure for that is what kind of befuddles me, for lack of a better word, I'd say. Her saying her erasing that pain, is that really ethical, or is that really is that really the best kind of, is that really healthy? I'd say, because that kind of pain is why therapy exists, that kind of thing. So you can talk through it, you talk through your trauma and your abuse and your pain, and you talk through it in a healthy way. You actually get those feelings out in the air. You process them properly. But then erasing them as if they never existed, I think that kind of, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't seem like the best thing to do, just to erase that pain as a whole. Processing your pain actually, allows you, in at the very least, in most, if not all cases, that pain can allow you to come out on top and to actually process how you feel and talk to it in an actual, healthy and good way. And like acknowledging that pain allows you to grow in in different ways. But then erasing that pain and acting like it was never there. There's, I mean, again that stops the malfunction, but it's not. I think it just kind of it takes away the stories of the people suffering from that pain. If the pain was never there, then they have nothing to like. It's like you're telling them, oh, you have nothing to worry about. I fixed you, and now you're all good, and you can go back to whatever. But they can't, because they still went through that pain. Taking it away from them, it's like you're just trying to make them forget it. Like the pain is still. I think deep down the pain should still be there, right? Like in some form. Like it's like I think it's less like it's less like it's erasing it from their experiences, and more like it's hiding it from their memory. More like it's hiding it from them, making and almost like just kind of hiding it away in like a deeper kind of pocket of their memories, and making it feel like they never experienced it, but deep down it's there. And depending on how deep rooted and how like damaging that pain is, it might just take one wrong trigger to bring it all flying back again. Like I mean, depending on how strong the algorithm that Lena updated was. It might just take like one wrong trigger or one, like one repair, like they meet someone new. I mean, because again, these are human trials, and obviously, if the human trials are successful, then they roll out like an actual like a first branch or first model of these lenses or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. That just erasing the pain, erasing the pain like that seems like. It doesn't seem very ethical, because again, it doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like erasure. It just seems like you're hiding it away from them so that they don't have to think about it. And then that means that they no longer feel the need to fight back. So it feels less like they're actually fixing the pain and more like they're trying to help them not have to conflict with their own pain, or help them not have to fight back even harder. So it just kind of. Yeah, I mean, and it like for people like Steve, the people who are victims of that kind of abuse, it doesn't really feel like it's helping them as much as it is just stopping them from acting out on their pain or stopping them from actually acknowledging that kind of pain. So I don't know, that one just feels weird. I don't know. If I'm overthinking it, then maybe there's nothing to worry about. But I don't know. That was just like my kind of outlook on that. It just doesn't feel the same as actually helping them fix it. But. Yeah, and I think I wonder if that then speaks to how Lena feels. Like she knows she can't ever get rid of her pain, and then she's using her own pain to work towards this. She's using her own struggles at the hands of abuse and torture and whatnot to actually help other people not do that to each other, or not to have to suffer from it. So and it came after Lex's advice. It came after Lex's advice being like Supergirl might feel like this is you mind controlling people, and technically it was, but way back when, technically that was mind control pretty much. Like, she says, people wanting to hurt each other, or people succumbing to rage and pain and anger, like those are all still very human things. Like as negative as those emotions and those reflexes are, those are all still human things. So stopping people from feeling that doesn't really make them any better. It takes away an innate human kind of emotion and reflex. So technically that would count as mind control. But obviously for Lena, she's trying to do it for the better of the people. She's trying to stop people from hurting each other. She's trying to stop people from. I think it's more than anything. I think people know at this point it's powered by her own pain. It's powered by the betrayal that she feels and the pain that she feels. So she's trying to. I think in like a less. In like a less direct, in like a more indirect way, she's trying to stop people from. She's trying to prevent anyone else from feeling what she felt, and she's kind of looking at humanity with that very specific kind of magnifying glass, pretty much. But yes, I think the main issue here is Lex's manipulation. He's manipulating her. He's telling her what she wants to hear, and like reassuring her that what she's doing isn't wrong, and that she's like her methods here are the best methods that she can use with her expertise and her knowledge and her technology, like the stuff available to her. So she should just go ahead with it and just do what she can for humanity, regardless of the ethical backlash or whatever. Which is exactly something that Lex would do. Like lead her into like trying to do the good thing with the wrong means, or like trying to make the ends meet with the wrong results, or with the wrong methods, I should say. But yeah, and again, I think this kind of stuff is what kind of pushes Kara to say stuff like that. It's the kind of stuff that pushes Kara to say, like, oh, I'm going to stop you like any other villain because you're trying to control people here, and that's not like a good thing to do, no matter how good you might see it as, and no matter what your intentions might be, it's not a good thing to do. So yeah, I don't know, it's just, again, Lex is the main issue here. Lex is the main issue, and he's just kind of pushing Lena on and on to do what she wants to do, so that she can stay out of his way, and helping her pushes her forward to do what she wants to do, and she does it in the style that he would, like manipulating people to see things the way that he does. So yeah, again, Lex is the main issue here for everything. Lex is the main issue for everything. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about that stuff. But yeah, I think that kind of thing, like Lena erasing the pain, that just kind of irks me just a little bit. But Steve, in the end, he claimed he felt better. Again, at that same rate, he acknowledged the pain was gone. He said, the pain that was once there, I no longer feel it. So I think again, it's not an erasure. He knows it was it's not like a complete memory wipe. He doesn't forget that Toby ever bullied him or abused him or whatever. He doesn't forget all that. He just says, the pain he once felt, it's gone now. So again, it's more like it's hiding it from him. It's making it so that he doesn't have to see it. So then he doesn't feel that urge to fight back. So that is the overall endgame. It's not just to stop people from feeling pain. It's to stop people from harming each other. So the pain is always there. The pain is something that's more deep rooted, and it's what powers the anger and the rage. The anger and the rage is the main kind of issue. And she even mentioned that herself. Like, if people didn't succumb to rage and anger so easily, then they wouldn't be so inclined to hurt each other. But again, those are normal, like innate human emotions, normal human reactions to have. So taking that away, you can't do that without affecting other stuff as well. Without affecting what actually allows them to process stuff that then turns it into anger. So it's just hiding that pain away, and just making them like forcing them to forget about it more than actually fixing the pain. So yeah, it's probably not the best way to go about that. Again, it's why therapy exists, so they can actually process it and use it to grow as people, instead of letting it control them. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how that stuff goes. Yeah, and then we had Kara and William. So yeah, again, I think they kind of made a point that Kara felt bad about rejecting him, which she shouldn't have. I think I'm confused as to why she felt bad in the first place. Like, if it was just because he's a nice guy that she felt bad saying no to him for. Like, okay, he's a nice guy. You guys can still be friends. Like, I think he even acknowledged that, the fact that he bought her favorite latte and kept sending her texts. Like, he even acknowledged, like, okay, I may have overstepped the bounds a little bit, but then like she said, the kind of the logical thing to be like Kara. I don't even know anymore. The logical thing to do would just be, okay, so Kara doesn't feel that way for him, and William has to acknowledge that. Okay, so logically speaking, the best way for them to step forward through that would just be to remain friends. They still care about each other. They still respect each other. Those are basically the foundations for a friendship. Why they couldn't move forward with that, I don't know. Why they had to push it forward to Kara feeling guilty and William seemingly still just being kind as he was, and he claims to respect her as that friend, so he was just still being kind. But then they pushed that forward to be like, oh, he's still being kind to me. Maybe I should say yes. Like, no, that's not like how that should go. Like, he's still being kind, sure. So he still sees you as a friend, and he still seems to be able to accept you as a friend, even if especially given that you're not ready to jump into a relationship with him. So move on with that. Him still being kind is not it shows that he's able to accept and cope with rejection, so he doesn't need to, he doesn't just succumb to anger or pain or whatever. He still respects you as a friend first and foremost, so that's a good sign. But then why they would push Kara into Why they would push that into Kara, then believing that, oh, maybe I should really give him a chance, I'm not really sure. So with this, I mean, I'm willing to see how it goes, I guess, but I think they just went about it all the wrong way. Like, she sees that, he's still, she sees that he's still kind despite it, so then she's like, oh, maybe I should have given him a chance, like, or maybe you could just stay friends. Maybe it's showing that he can actually handle rejection, and he's still cool with you being friends, maybe he was hurt. Naturally, he was hurt at first, but then he learned to move past it, like the bigger person, and he was able to accept it. But then Kara sees that as, oh, maybe I should have actually given him a chance. Like, I don't know what the road is with that, or what the kind of message is with that at all. But I don't know. This stuff just confuses me, and it just makes me question everything, or at least almost everything. But I don't know. I guess we'll see. We'll see exactly how stuff goes with her and William. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to be a terrible couple. I'm sure that their respect for each other as friends will still kind of transcend and stuff. But I can't see it lasting very long. I can't see stuff between her and William lasting very long. I think it's still gonna. I think they kind of ended that. I think. Well, I mean, they clearly ended those kind of repair attempts with the last episode and her saying to Lena, "Oh, I'll stop you just like any other villain." So they clearly ended that stuff with her, with her that way. So I think, if anything, I think the way this might end would be, or the way this might go, the way this might continue would be her still, like, her going on a date. I mean, well, she said it was just one day, so she'd try it. So she would try going out with him to see how it felt and go forward from there. But then, I think, if anything, if it does continue, if it does become a relationship, I think it might just be her being in a relationship with someone while still in the back of her mind, she's still trying to figure out how to cope with Lena, how to deal with Lena, what to do on that front. But then she's still going to be in a relationship. But then she's going to figure out that I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know, because I think maybe she likes William. Maybe she seems to towards the end. She said, you're a great guy, and I'm willing to give you a chance and all. So I mean, she is kind of. I mean, that those lines alone make me want to believe that she is giving him a chance of her own accord, and that she genuinely does like him enough to actually give him a chance. So she's moving past that fear. But then, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's kind of like a mix of the two. But I don't know. And it just I don't know. It just feels weird. Like I mean, yeah, I'm just at a loss for words. I can't word anymore. I can't do the talk anymore. We'll see, basically. We'll see. We'll see how the stuff with Kara and William goes, how it actually progresses, if they're actually good, if they're good together, if they're good with each other. And Alex seems to support it, so maybe she sees something there that I just can't. Let me know what you guys think. If you think this is doomed to fail, or if you think this might actually be good, or what this means for everything else and stuff. But I do not know. I don't know how to feel about that stuff overall, but we'll see. As stuff progresses, I'm sure things will become much clearer and the path will become much clearer, but we'll see. Alex got a new gauntlet. I think Alex is kind of, it's clearer now that Alex is finding this kind of transition harder to deal with, like being in control and being the boss lady over the DEO was like a very, very cool. It was at first, even that was a difficult transition for her, but then in the end, it actually grew to be more comfortable for her. She actually eventually became a person fit for the role. So now with this one, without that kind of governmental oversight, with playing by their own rules, pretty much, I think is very much like a different kind of field for her. Because she spent so long under the command of Jean. And then after that, she then moved into his role, and then that was a difficult transition. So now she's back to working with him again, but now they're kind of playing by their own rules. So I think that is like somewhat the main issue. But then also losing her weapon, losing her gun, was the other biggest loss for her. Like not really feeling safe without it, not feeling safe like with someone. I mean, and she was never trigger happy. She was always in control, of her gun. She was never trigger happy like that. She always felt safer knowing that she could defend herself and whoever she was with if she had that weapon. And she can still fight without it. She's still good, hand to hand and stuff, but still having the guns, I think it gave her that kind of extra added measure of security and safety and stuff. So yeah, so I think it's reassuring as well, like, for us, like knowing that she wasn't trigger happy, she wasn't that kind of person who wouldn't shoot someone who was holding a donut thinking it was a gun or whatever. But now with this one, she gets an even cooler weapon. She has like a bracelet, I think, or like a gauntlet, but it can transform into anything. Like, we saw a few examples. It can transform into a gun, or it can transform into knuckle bracelets, or it can transform into a knife or something. So, anything she wants. I mean, it could turn into a shield, or it could turn into like a sword or an axe or something. Like, if she goes out there fighting aliens with an axe, that is gonna be badass. That is gonna be badass. But yeah, I think it may well help, and it helps a lot more as well. I mean, with her original gun. With her original gun, I assume it had like stun settings and kill settings, but with this one, it's a lot more accurate with that too. Like, she can go lethal and non-lethal. She wants to go non-lethal, she can go with like a baton or like eskrima sticks or something. And if she wants to go lethal, she can go with like an axe or a gun or whatever, or like even just projecting a shield or something. I don't know, but with this one, she has a wider variety of options, and she feels safer. And it's like, it's not. I think. And I think, appearance-wise, it's safer too. Like, it's like she can sneak it in a lot easily. It's like, it makes for a cooler accessory that she can still be prepared for, and she can feel safer knowing that. So it's cool. It's cooler, and I think Jean definitely took that into consideration. The fact that like now, instead of just being stuck with a gun, she can use a variety of different weapons. And I think she knowing how fluid she is with combat and how combat ready she is, I think she also has the added advantage of being able to master any weapon in her hand, so she can use something she's familiar with and adapt to the situation. Like, instead of a gun, if she comes up with against someone with like a dual knives or dual swords, and she has a gun, I mean, it's easier, but still, like, she can still handle stuff at close range, and especially if she's in a tightly packed area, she doesn't want to risk she doesn't want to risk the person being able to dodge her shots and like stray shots going and hitting people. So again, just it offers better adaptability and stuff. So it's a much more considerate choice of weaponry for her. So I thought, I'm not gonna lie, when I saw him carrying him, the full case didn't show up in the shot, so I thought it was a much bigger suitcase, and I thought, oh, she's gonna get a new suit now. She's gonna get like a new leather studded look or something. But no, it was a gun. It was her weapon. But she could still get a suit of some sort. But I mean, the original one she had was property of the DEO, so she had to give that back in. But we'll see. But I think so far it is like a very kind of accurate and like a believable kind of transition that she's having. That she's not really fully accustomed to this, so it's going to take some time. And even John, more than I think, acknowledges that and says that you took some time to transition to being the DEO leader as a whole. So this kind of new kind of upgrade, side grade sort of, is going to take just as much time, and you should take all the time you need. But Jean is doing all he can to help with that stuff, and also playing by a different set of rules, not really reporting to anyone in particular, just working with Jean to keep the world safe and all that kind of stuff. So it makes sense, and it's a very, very believable kind of job transition to kind of uphold. So yeah, so it was cool to see that. What else? But my question with William is, can he not tell that Supergirl is Kara? Because I think she does nothing to disguise her voice. Barry, at the very least, can vibrate his vocal cords, or at least he used to. He stopped doing that like a couple of seasons back. But Kara doesn't change her voice at all. I think she has somewhat of like she upholds the superhero stance, like the hands on the hips and stuff. But she has her bangs. Kara has bangs. Supergirl has bangs. Like, literally, the only thing different now is the glasses. Like, can William really not tell? Like, I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna go. If there's gonna be a reveal, if he's gonna. I mean, and he says he's an investigative journalist, so it's his job to discover the truth, no matter what kind of harm that puts him in. And he clearly showed that he's willing to fight back. He was, getting ready to sacrifice, just putting himself in harm's way with Amy to try and save Supergirl, and then Dreamer showed up with her badass hand shield and stuff. I loved it when she did that in the last episode. With this one, it's like, it's like, she can still do that, but it's at a smaller scale, so it's obviously to fit the enemy, like, depending on how dangerous and wide their energy blasts are. But cool to see that nonetheless. But yeah, so with that kind of stuff, I think, I wonder then if the more he hangs out with Kara, in terms of dating, if that's gonna make him more and more suspicious. Like, like if they're on a date, then like something happens and like an emergency happens and she has to disappear somewhere, but then he sees on the news that something's going down and Supergirl is on the scene, and then as soon as Supergirl leaves the scene, Kara shows back up again, like that kind of stuff. I feel like, I mean, I don't know if they're gonna write it so that it flies right past his head, or if he's actually gonna question it, and then she's gonna visit him one night and be like, and you know, like, for whatever reason, and then he's gonna reveal that he knows she's Supergirl. Like, I wonder if that's the route they're gonna go down with it. If this is the one person that actually figures it out and then confronts her about it, or if he's gonna wait and see if she tells him, because then that's never gonna happen. That's never gonna happen. I do not have any faith that that's gonna happen at all. But yeah, I wonder if that's the way they're gonna go with this, like having her date him, and then the more they date, the more they spend time together. He actually picks up on stuff that she does, and picks up on who she is and where she goes and what she does. Like, not in an obsessive way, hopefully not in an obsessive way, but still, he just picks up on stuff that, you know, when she leaves, Supergirl shows up, and when Supergirl leaves, she shows up. And then he eventually puts two and two together and actually confronts her about it, and then how that reveal goes, and then, you know, then her revealing to him that, you know, she's Supergirl, and then that kind of getting in the way of her kind of reveal to Lena happening a lot later and a lot more differently, and then how that affects the series. I don't know how they're going to go, but I feel like that might be the way they go with this. I feel like that might be it. But we'll see. We will see. But he does. I think he's clearly shown that he respects Supergirl a lot. He respects her, and he talked about, you know, spending time in VR because he lost his best friend Russell a few years back, but then forgetting about the people in his real life that he was connected to, and then, you know, being with Kara reminded him of that. Like, there are people in the real world that desire that connection just as much as in the VR world. So yeah, so I think that was also one of the things that could have pushed her towards actually saying yes to William later on too. So we'll see how it all goes. But yeah, I think Lex is still doing his stuff with Leviathan, so that's bound to end horribly for everyone involved and everyone not involved directly as well. So we'll see how that stuff goes. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have from this episode. So fun episode, I guess you could say, but we'll see exactly how this stuff goes. But yeah, that is it for this one. So that was Supergirl season 5 episode 14, titled The Bodyguard. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think is coming up next in the season. The uncut reaction will be available on Patreon, so feel free to go check that out. And yeah, that's it. So I will see you guys next time.